Hannah gift. Mirror. Confession. Shit. What else could I use? I need to find out, like, exactly what happened. Her story. Let me think. Glad stone. No, that's just Eve. Gift. Eve. Mirror. I know some of you are probably yelling me at the screener. It's like, no, type this in! Type this in! You almost got it! Type this in! Twins move. Twins Simon. We already put cheat in, right? Yeah. Simon love.
No. I mean, everyone loves Simon. He was so nice to everyone. He loves me.
Simon. Alright, there's something I can do to narrow this down. Simon bag? Oh, bag. Great, great, great. We stuff him in the bag!
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly in the living room. Nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
Missing? Nope, not missing. Foul play involved. A minute and a half. Let's see what you got to say.
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly into the living room. Nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom. He wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
Doug. What can you tell me about Doug?
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them.
This is Eve talking. Just to make sure.
I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us, there's always been pressure.
Eve becomes a lunch lady because of Doug. How could they not tell that she was a... people are stupid. Alright, what you got to tell us? I think you're Eve, but I'm not sure anymore.
I hoover, I dust every week. Maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people asked, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, you know, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that.
I know somebody like that. Except it's not a secret. They know. Yeah, don't ever try to, you know, hide smoking. They know. They fucking know. It's not that hard to tell. Doug probably knew and didn't give a shit. Eleanor smoked. Alright, what's this one?
Yeah. 1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer.
Alright, Doug and Eleanor are Simon's parents.
So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just
awful. Doug and Eleanor died. Funeral.
Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't looked in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So,
funeral plans for Simon. Okay, and this last one. So July was when they figured this out?
yes, it was a cremation for the best. We both wore black and had veils, so it was easy. And after the funeral, everyone came back to the house. Hannah served up sandwiches, and I stayed out of sight.
Funeral attendance. Okay. I mean, so when did Simon find out about this? Simon, wait. Affair. Okay. I was wondering what word to use for this.
An affair? Simon wasn't having an affair.
Simon wasn't having an affair. Really? Not with your sister?
You're reaching here. Oh, I don't know why. No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care for.
Baby?
Why are you trying to make me sad?
Baby? Hannah's infertile.
Obsessed with sex and affairs. You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing?
Claim to not have cheated. So, was Eve pregnant at that point?
And what did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
Was in Glasgow. Alright, so pregnant. Here we go. Eve. Alright. Search.
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married.
Uh-huh. And? What else do we got?
Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant. It's morning sickness.
And so Hannah's infertile, Eve is not.
No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant. When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted.
I don't know how to spell
The streets were
Glasgow.
empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, He made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
And there was your alibi. When Hannah pretended to be you. Pregnancy?
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
Simon Child. No. I feel like I'm missing like key pieces. Like, okay, so story is separated at birth, eventually found out about each other. One would always masquerade for the other because they were good at different things. Eventually, Hannah felt deep for this guy, Simon. Got pregnant. Eve was furious because they couldn't really do the masquerading thing anymore because that would mean Eve would have to get pregnant. Couldn't get pregnant. Eventually, things got difficult, and Hannah killed Simon accidentally. They stashed the body together in the basement. Wait. You said there was a lot of blood. How do you even clean that up?
Okay. I've given blood before. Do you need to take that for your records?
Was there DNA testing? I'm gonna type that up next. DNA testing. Because they're identical.
Nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The blood. It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me. She was sat behind him. She had my wig on. And she'd been there all day. And she had blood on her. And she was in shock.
Alright. Alright, so Hannah, shock. Alright, so I should did that. Let's just add it to that. Add to that. DNA? No. Wig.
A wig? You mean... But what type of wig?
Wig question. How will I know when I'm done? I don't know. Or seconds.
No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig?
Denies wig. Oh, oops. I didn't mean to do that.
No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig?
And this one. She'll deny it here too because, well, it's the first.
This other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked at the cat flap?
Cat flap. Cat. What, cat flap? What's a cat flap? Cat flap? What's a cat flap? Is this like a weird British term? Oh my god, I don't even know. Like, what's happening?
No, they were shut. Most of the windows were really hard to open anyway. They're stifling in summer. They were painted over by my dad. Could have left a door open accidentally. Or there's a cat flap in the back door.
Breaking in?
No cat. My parents had a cat before they died called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots. And we never did anything about the cat flap, but if you were thin, you could maybe squeeze through it.
Blonde wig. Wig Simon. Nope. Simon murder? I feel like I'm missing something. Simon Eve doesn't work. Simon Twin doesn't work. Simon Watch. Alright, what you got to tell me, lady?
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
Wedding. Alright. Watch. Just a watch. I just want to search for the watch now. Alright. Plant? No. I looked at blood. Hit? No, not that one.
It's like I told you before, I drove. I took the car and drove. I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys. I just drove north. I wanted to think, put some space between me and them. Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering. And then I decided to drive back. I had decided that she was more important to me than Simon.
Drove to Glasgow. Now I know how to spell it now after seeing it like 12 million times. Trying to call Hannah. Nothing. Cavalier. No. Van. Keys. Okay, we got a couple. What we got here?
Yes. I always pull it shut and then lock the bigger lock with the key.
How she locks doors. No, I don't think it was. I turned the key, but it was already unlocked. Alright. And this one? I don't even know what this one's about.
Yeah. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
Death of Simon's parents? Maybe? I can't even keep track of who's dead now. Parents dead. Alright. Flu? No. Truth.
Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
Twin baby. I don't know what else to put. Eleanor? No. Doug. Parent. What's this one?
Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents.
Alright, it wasn't Simon's parents that died, it was Hannah's parents that died. I'm poison? I'm gasping at straws at this point. Did you poison your parents?
At the time they said it was poison. Food poisoning.
Ah, okay.
I mean, I felt so guilty. If I'd still been at home, maybe I could have done something. I didn't.
Parents died of food poisoning. Yeah, it could be pretty bad. I remember when my grandmother had food poisoning, and then we had to take her to the ER. It was pretty bad. Bag?
No. The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there.
I was thinking about doing that at one point.
The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours.
How the body was stored. Simon. Right?
When will the police let me back in the house? And they let me take a bag of clothes with me, but
I don't know why I put in live, but Could be something.
That's all that matters, really. The baby. Simon's dead, but the baby, that's how he will live on. Our baby.
Simon's baby. Eve. Baby? Sure.